Welcome back to Vintage HLC Show and Tell. Today we're going to look at Royal OvenServe. Now in the previous video we looked at embossed OvenServe, which was introduced in 1933. After that became a hit, Royal Metal of Chicago, Illinois approached the Homer Laughlin China Company about making ovenware for their chrome-plated frames. So before we start looking at these pieces, we'll do a little recap of OvenServe. We'll look at some advertisements. This comes from the Official Gazette, October 10th, 1933. And it's showing the OvenServe back stamp, the patent for it. And it says it claims use since July 1st, 1933. This is an advertisement for OvenServe, the embossed version of OvenServe, sold by Kresge's. And we looked at, I think, all of these pieces in the last video. Shirred egg, oval baker, bean pot, custard, baked apple, pie plate, casserole, French casserole, cup and saucer, and 2 sizes of plates. Another Kresge advertisement. OvenServe dishes make a big hit as Christmas gifts. This is from 1935. This comes from a Butler Brothers wholesale catalog. It's a copy of OvenServe being sold in ivory and orange, or pumpkin. Those are pretty interchangeable. Orange is the proper name, but you will hear me say orange and pumpkin both. We have the platter, plates, pie plate, bean pot, there's a pudding dish, baked apple, French casserole, shirred egg, cup and saucer, custard. Again, I believe we looked at all these in the previous video. Trade advertisement from 1935. I'll look at the back to see the source. It is China Glass and Lamps. So this is May 1935, and it says feature OvenServe for summer profits. And this is one of the few times we see people in the advertisement. And we have this lady taking the dishes out of her refrigerator, presumably to cook in and then serve at the table. Pretty standard assortment of OvenServe in this one. This one comes from Crockery and Glass Journal from August 1935. And it's showing treatment OS81, which is a decal treatment that is applied over the embossing. And it says, reap repeat profits with the new OvenServe by Homer Laughlin. And it's showing that pattern on all these OvenServe pieces. And a few advertisements printed out from newspapers.com. This one comes from March 1st, 1934. Shows a pretty standard assortment. A wide variety of prices here. We've got the covered casseroles at 79 cents. Let's see what else. A fish platter at 39 cents, a bean pot at 15 cents, and pudding dish at $0.25. This one comes from March 8th, 1934. OvenServe covered casserole and the underplate, 89 cents. This has platinum trim. And pie plates could be had at 22 cents. Red bands on a covered casserole and underplate. This is from 1934. So your small casserole was 39 cents, the large casserole was $1.49. Platinum Star on OvenServe. We looked at Platinum Star in the last video. This comes from September 23rd, 1934. So you could get $1. Let's see, what was the casserole is $1, medium casserole 50 cents, baking dishes, pie plates, shirred eggs dishes $0.25. This comes from October 25th, 1934, and everything's half off. So, for example, custard cups, baking dishes, saucers, and bean pots, originally 10 cents, are now 5 cents. Withstand oven and refrigerator temperatures, reselected. We see our Platinum Star again. This is December 8th, 1934. So you get the OvenServe casserole, and this time a pie plate rather than just an underplate. It's $1.10. Cream with platinum stars or red bands. Covered casserole and serving plate, 59 cents. This is from February 16th, 1935. And I'd mentioned this in the previous video about Wells Art glazes. And we see the casserole with the underplate where you can get them in yellow, rust, rose, and green. This is from June 20th, 1935. So if you're fortunate enough to find Wells Art glazes, it's going to be the casserole and underplate. However, other pieces can be found, like the French casserole that I showed in the previous video. And this comes from 1936. You get all the pieces you see here, 10 pieces, the covered casserole, the underplate, the pie plate, and 6 custard cups for $1. And this is for polychrome. So $1 the set. You get the casserole with cover, the 8-inch pie plate, a serving plate, and the deep bowl, which is your pudding dish, for $1. More OvenServe. This is from 1937. Coffee cups and ramekins, 4 cents. Round Baker's baked apples, 7 cents. And finally, 1935, we see a piece of Royal OvenServe. So Royal OvenServe, they're all plain round shapes. There's no embossing on these 6 pieces that we're going to look at. So it says Royal OvenServe ware mounted in chromium plated frames. They have 4 of the 6 pieces we're going to look at. The 7.5-inch casserole, the 8-inch casserole, the 10-inch pie plate, and the 13-inch platter. So you could get any one of these pieces with its corresponding frame for $1, and that is 1935. Now, let me put these aside. We'll look at one last bit of advertising. This comes from 1937, Royal Chrome. We see our Fiesta promotional casserole here that was made for this metal holder. We'll look at that in the future. We're not going to look at that today. So let me open this up. And we see our Fiesta pieces here along with our very rare cake plate. But in the center we see those 4 pieces that were mentioned in the previous ad. We have the platter, the pie plate, the mixing bowl casserole, and the covered casserole. The other 2 pieces, that's the cake plate and our relish tray. So we'll start with the cake plate. It's 10 3/4 inch diameter. We have a corresponding embossed OvenServe cake lifter. Now the cake plates, you can tell that they are Royal OvenServe as opposed to Kitchen Craft by the backs. There will always be 2 feet to them with the rings in the back. Usually will be marked Royal OvenServe if it was meant to go in a frame. However, if there's no marking, then it was just sold as a cake plate without a frame. And we're going to see that with these casseroles. And we'll start with red clover. This is your mixing bowl casserole. It's 8-inch diameter. And there is no pattern on the base. No marking on the base either. These would have been left blank. Since they're going in these frames, there was no need to decorate the bases. Only the lids. And the lids are the ones that are going to be marked. They'll have a platinum overglazed stamp. Royal OvenServe. No mention of Homer Laughlin. So that is your mixing bowl casserole, because the bases do look like mixing bowls. Now, if the base is decorated, then it was not meant for royal metal. It was just a piece of kitchenware that could be sold by itself or mixed with embossed OvenServe or later with Kitchen Craft. We're going to see advertisements that show that. Again though, no marking on the base, and the lid will have no marking because that would have gotten an overglazed stamp, and since this is not for royal metal, it didn't get any type of marking. This one I think is rather nice because it has matinee medallion. Now we see this treatment on Century as well as Jade. You can also find it on Virginia Rose, maybe even other shapes. So it's a little unusual to see it on a piece of Royal OvenServe. But it's on this casserole. The exterior of the base is decorated, therefore this is not meant for Royal OvenServe. It's just sold as it is, without any type of frame. But this is why I like to collect Homer Laughlin so much, because you find these odd decal and shape combinations that are somewhat surprising. I don't think I've ever seen this before. If I have, I've forgotten about it. We'll move on. Red Beauty. I mentioned this in the previous video, that if you find Red Beauty on ovenware and it has red trim, then it was not made for royal metal. But if it has platinum trim, it was. And we'll look at some examples in a minute. So the base on this one is going to be decorated, since it was not meant for a frame. But neither the base nor the lid will be marked. So that's a little bit about your mixing bowl casserole. Again, 8-inch diameter. And just to repeat myself, if the base is not decorated, it was meant for a frame. And the lid will be marked. That is the same for your straight-sided casserole. And we see one here, again, red clover, no decoration on the base, no marking on the base. The lid should be marked Royal OvenServe. That's a platinum overglazed stamp. This one is 7.5 inches diameter. And we have two more straight-sided casseroles. This one is OS 95, which is also a Virginia Rose treatment. This has the decoration on the exterior, no marking. Then we have an embossed OvenServe underplate. No marking on the lid. Same is going to be true for this one, which comes from Virginia Rose, VR 128. So this treatment number on Royal Metal or OvenServe is OS 86. So whether it's on this piece, the Royal Metal casserole, or the embossed OvenServe underplate, it's going to be OS 86 either way. Now the next piece is the 10 3/4 inch relish tray. And it has a really defined lip on it so that it could sit in one of those metal frames. This one's not marked. This particular treatment, this tulip with this red trim, comes from Kitchen Craft. So this would have been picked up and mixed in Kitchen Craft sets. So this is a later piece, probably 1937, 1938. Next we have the pie plate, which is 10 1/4. We see red clover again, and we've seen several pieces of red clover. This was not an exclusive to Royal Metal, because we see this on Kitchen Craft later on, like ball jars and stack sets. But here it is, a Royal Metal. It should have a marking. It does. So this would have come with a frame, and it has a corresponding embossed OvenServe pie lifter. That's a little bit larger than your Kitchen Craft pie plates. We'll be looking at those in the future. Probably the next video we'll look at Kitchen Craft and we'll compare those. The last piece is the 13 1/4 inch deep platter. Again, we have this well-defined lip, so this can go into a metal frame. We see the Royal OvenServe marking. This treatment probably was exclusive. I've only ever seen this one on Royal Metal pieces with this colorful poppy decal and platinum trim. And we have another one, again, red clover, and it is marked Royal OvenServe. So those are your 6 pieces: the cake plate, the 2 mixing bowls, the straight-sided casserole, the mixing bowl casserole, the relish tray, the pie plate, and the deep platters. So there were pieces that were picked up from the embossed line. And this is what I was talking about before with Red Beauty. If you find it with red trim, it's probably not going to be Royal OvenServe. But if you find it with platinum trim, then it is going to be Royal OvenServe. And here we see 3 pieces from the embossed line, all with the platinum trim. So we have the large size baker, Red Beauty, platinum trim, no exterior decoration, and we see the Royal OvenServe overglaze stamp. Now this would have been applied before any decorations at all. That's underglaze. We have a mixing bowl, Red Beauty, platinum trim, embossed OvenServe, and we see Royal OvenServe, no mention of Homer Laughlin. And finally, again, Red Beauty, platinum trim, base is undecorated, the lid is marked Royal OvenServe, just like the other casserole lids. So I think that's it. Royal OvenServe, this is really fun to collect, simply because there's no mention of Homer Laughlin. You can usually find it listed on eBay and, just as Royal OvenServe and not in the Homer Laughlin category. You find these unexpected treatments on them, and that makes it even more special. So next time we're going to look at Kitchen Craft, and we'll start comparing these Royal OvenServe and see how they all fit together. And because one thing about these, and this is why you see a lot of these odd treatments, is that we don't have the same divisions in kitchenware that you do in dinnerware. We have a lot of mixing going on. So if somebody wanted to offer this particular decal in ovenware, they could mix embossed OvenServe, with Royal OvenServe, with Kitchen Craft, so you get all this mix and combination of shapes. So we'll look at that more next time.